Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Want to talk to you about some wireless phone service I've been doing a little testing on. Want to show my results with you. Now, full disclosure, I don't have any like dog in the fight, I guess you would say. I mean, I own a couple shares of Verizon Wireless, but let's be honest, that's not going to shape what I've done here. And I just wanted to be open and honest about this. So I had T-Mobile and I left T-Mobile and went and got Verizon Wireless because I kept having drop calls with my T-Mobile service. So I went and got the full on Verizon everything, unlimited talk, unlimited text. Supposed to be, no throttling on the internet, full blast, full go. Okay. And I put that on a Samsung S20 Galaxy, I believe is what phone that is. And I was pretty disappointed in it. Coming from T Mobile to Verizon, I felt like my internet speeds were really slow. And and I want a full disclosure on this before we get started. If I talk bad about your cell phone company that you currently have and use, I'm not talking and making fun of it or talking bad about you personally. So don't take it personally, okay? These are major corporations. They don't care about you, I promise. So this is just data that I found and I'm sharing. All right, let's go. So I was pretty disappointed in it. So I said, I'm not going to instantly switch back to T-Mobile. I said, I almost feel like as a trucker that does a lot of things on the internet, I possibly need T-Mobile and Verizon because where one is good, one is bad, and vice versa. So instead of just going out and hooking up the old phone on T-Mobile, I said, or back to T-Mobile, I said, let me look at some of the prepaid plans I can get here. And so what I've done is on this other phone here, this is a Motorola, I can't remember, Stylus 5G, Moto 5G Stylus, I think is what this phone is. So that's the phones I've been using to do these tests. Now, I put this phone on Mint Mobile and I went with the unlimited plan on there. The couple things they've ticked me off with is you buy an unlimited plan and then it says unlimited to 40 gigs of data. Well, yeah, so you're going to get unlimited, but it's going to be slow as hell after 40. I'm not a fan of that, okay? Full disclosure, this is $30 a month. I paid for 3 months of service. So I paid $90 for 3 months of this. We're testing it. We're seeing how it goes. I'll tell you more at the end of the video what my plans are going forward, knowing this information. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So what I've done is in random locations across the country. Now, my route last week took me from Minnesota out to Pennsylvania, up to Connecticut, and then Connecticut down to Florida. So I went across the top of the country, like along 80, 94 down to 80, that route. And then I went up into Connecticut, and then I came down 95, New York, DC, basically ran 95 all the way down the East Coast. And what I did in, I think it was 13 cities I stopped in, I just did a head-to-head test. I said, T-Mobile or Mint Mobile versus Verizon showdown. And I just went on the internet and did to test my internet speed. Okay. And I wrote all this data down right here. I call it the cell phone showdown. There we go. So, location number one was Menominee, Wisconsin, was my first stop at the rest area in Menominee. It wasn't even close there. Mint Mobile was literally 10 times faster on the data speeds than Verizon was there, which has kind of like been my belief on since I got Verizon. Verizon has been very slow internet speeds for most places I stop compared to what I'm used to with T-Mobile. Now, before T-Mobile, I had T-Mobile for about a year, year and a half, maybe a little less, more like a year, I guess. And before that, I had Straight Talk Wireless on the Verizon network, and I thought that was awesome. It was like $60 a month. I was using like all the data I could want to use. I was not getting throttled very bad. Only at like certain times would I notice being throttled, and that was using like 200 gigs a month. I'm good for about 2 to 250 gigs per month with the YouTube channel and all. Runs it up quite a bit. Uploading videos and whatnot. So when Verizon Wireless bought Street Talk, is when that deal fell apart for me. I was no longer a big fan of that. So made me want to switch to T-Mobile. T-Mobile, very fast internet, but I was getting some drop calls. So my next stop was in New Lisbon, Wisconsin. It's kind of out in the woods. I figured that would be a good test, a good rural test. Kind of thought Verizon would win out there. No, Mint Mobile beat Verizon in the woods. 36 to 18, almost double the internet speed out there. So then we went down to Belvidere, Illinois, and that was Mint Mobile at 340 to Verizon's 93. Okay. And for every one of these that the download speed won, the upload speed won as well. I didn't have anywhere, the download speed was faster, but the upload speed wasn't, as far as, brand to brand. Okay. And then we went down to Gary, Indiana. Brutal in Gary. Mint Mobile put up a 358 to Verizon's 27. Yeah, 27. Now, that's just brutal. I mean, 358 versus 27 is pretty big difference. You should be able to get most things you want to get done on the internet at 27.8 megabits per second, but 358 is like game-changing speed. Uploading videos, downloading videos, you do whatever you want at that kind of speed. So then I went over to Hubbard, Ohio, which is the east side of Ohio, right before you go into Pennsylvania on I-80. 254 to 26, 10 times faster was Mint Mobile over there. Brutal. Here's probably the worst one of all of them. Went over to Jim Thorpe, PA at the service plaza over there in Jim Thorpe. I stopped there for some lunch. Mint Mobile put up a 305 megabits per second to Verizon's 5. 305 to 5. Whoo, got smoked. And then we went over to Quakertown. Had a delivery in Quakertown. Mint Mobile 134 over there to Verizon's 54. So more than double the speed there. And then the one place that Verizon did win the showdown, was in Wallkill, New York, which is kind of a rural service plaza over there. Mint Mobile put up a 74.6. Verizon put up a 187 over there. So more than double the speed on Verizon there. So that was the one that Verizon did win there. Of the 13, Verizon won 1. And then I went over to Southington, Connecticut. Mint Mobile put up a 170. Verizon put up a 26. Then down to Vineland, New Jersey, 306. Again, Mint Mobile throwing up a lot of 300 plus out there. 306 to Verizon's 94. And then from New Jersey, I didn't test a lot because I drove pretty much straight through. And then I started testing again. And so there was nothing, no favoritism. I just didn't stop along that route except one time, and I forgot to test. So these are just random places I tested. It was not like I tested to say, oh, well, Mint Mobile does better here, so I'll test here. These were when I would stop and I would remember to do this. I would literally put both phones on the steering wheel and I would press test my internet at the same time, and I would just let them go crazy and write down the results. That's basically how this test came about. So I went down to Yamasee, not sure, South Carolina. You guys correct me if I'm saying that wrong. 58 on Mint Mobile to 45 on Verizon. So pretty fair, pretty even on that one. And then we come down to Woodbine, Georgia. And this one was crazy because I stopped here for a long break and I couldn't even get Verizon to give me a signal down there in Woodbine, Georgia. Nothing. No internet at all for Verizon. And Mint Mobile put up a 141.7 down there. So giant difference on that. And then we come down to Kissimmee, Florida, the very last time I tested. Mint Mobile put up a 328 versus a 80.5 on Verizon. Massive difference again. So total averages, here we go. This is the average speed of the 13 places I tested, and the average download speed on Mint Mobile was 211.4 versus Verizon's 52.7. Okay, upload speeds 38.4 on Mint Mobile, Verizon 13.9. So simple math here. Mint Mobile tested on average 4 times faster. 4 times faster for Mint Mobile. It's pretty obvious because Verizon has not been impressive to me since I went back to Verizon. The drop calls are nowhere near. I mean, T-Mobile, I would get 10 drop calls a day on an average day. Verizon, maybe 1 or 2. So the drop call thing is not as bad. It seems I get better cell phone service with Verizon, but the internet's just so much faster with the Mint Mobile. That's the conclusions I have drawn. So I think when my 3 months of the Mint Mobile is up, I may switch that phone back to just a regular T-Mobile line and make that my primary phone again, and maybe pair the Verizon back and just use the Verizon for calls. It's kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to end up doing. I hate to do it that way, but I'll probably just lower the Verizon down to like a 5 megabytes or gigabytes, whatever it is, a month, and go full on internet with T-Mobile. Kind of seems like probably what I'm going to end up doing. It's not what I thought this would work out like. It's really weird because I tested in a lot of rural locations, not on purpose. Just happened to. I like to stay in areas that are not major cities, so a lot of this would be like when I would stop at the end of the day. I would just run the test. These tests are not set by time. Some of them are in the morning, some of them are at night. Some of them middle of the morning. I just had no rhyme or reason to it. This was a very random test. So if you're looking to get a new phone service for the internet, that Mint Mobile ain't nothing to joke with. I paid I think $10 for these SIM cards at Walmart or Target. I can't remember exactly where I got it. I'm thinking it was Target. And yeah, popped them in, set up the service. Very easy to set it up. If you own the phone, an unlocked phone, it's very simple. But there you go, guys. That is the results of the Verizon T-Mobile slash Mint Mobile, because T-Mobile owns Mint Mobile now. They had just bought them when I started this whole testing process. So for me, I don't see any real benefit of going through Mint Mobile because I want the most unlimited plan I can get when it comes to data. And I got a feeling that Mint Mobile, when it does hit 40, is going to have some problems. So I'm a little weary of that. But that's where we're at, guys. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Much appreciate you sticking around this far. Smash that like button if you could. I would appreciate it. And leave me some comments. Let me know what you have found out when it comes to cell phone service and reception. And be honest. Don't favor them just because that's your carrier. Be honest about it, because this was I was hoping Verizon was going to I had Verizon for like 20 years before and then left them for a few years. I thought when I went back it was going to solve all my problems, but I'm finding it hard to do work on the internet with them. So that's where I'm at. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Remember, people are more important than trucking. Is anybody worried about fuel economy these days? I know I am. That's why I got me a channel partnership with Hotshot Secrets, because I trust these guys.
They do all their engineering, all their product testing right here in America. This is Diesel Extreme. This big 2 quart jug treats 160 gallons. You're going to want to start off with this one because, in my opinion, that's going to clean those injectors better than anything else on the market. It's going to get the water out of your fuel system. And then after you're done running that one, run that tank out. Come back, get this right here. Everyday diesel treatment. Easy to measure bottle. This treats 400 gallons. This little bottle does. Treats 400 gallons. Check it out. Best stuff on the market. I run it. I get great fuel economy. I appreciate them. Use the link in the description below. If you've got a CDL, you can get a 10% discount with those guys on their website, which makes it cheaper than pretty much anywhere else you're going to find it. Thank you.